contribute to any of the causes that Vishwa showcases on its platform vishwa.org. You could, Annadanam for instance, there are a lot of people across the country who, when they go to hospitals, they come up from far off regions, and they little money they have, they keep it aside for the treatment of the patient. They sleep on platforms, they hardly eat anything. And we give them food every afternoon on Fridays, and it makes a lot of difference. There's similar such fundraisers. Please feel free to celebrate your loved ones with any of these causes.
Vishwa's commitment towards zero waste and the long way to go in achieving the goal begins with our material donation drive. Conducted twice a year during Diwali and Ugadi in Hyderabad, this drive collects clothes, books, toys, and other used or semi-used items for the underprivileged. Contributions from over 615 plus families have benefited around 2,800 individuals, providing essential items and support, bringing hope and dignity to them. Through these efforts, we transform the waste of some into the treasure of others, promoting sustainability and community welfare.
Namaskaram, everyone. A very good morning and welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Trishant, and I thank you all for attending today's event on Zoom and to those watching on YouTube Live. For those of you who have attended a Vishwa Talk before, a warm welcome back. And for our new joiners, here's a little bit about us. Vishwa Talks is here to create awareness amongst people and to protect our social heritage and to let people make their own decisions. Here we invite experts to discuss and explore diverse opinions, different perspectives, various issues, problems, and their solutions on various fields, including art and culture, healthcare, environment, education, and many more. So far, we have covered over 150 plus talks. Each webinar is an interactive session with a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. If you miss any part of the session or would like to go through the previous sessions, please visit our website or Vishwa Talks YouTube channel for a full library of past Vishwa Talks on interesting topics. Our speaker for today's Vishwa Talks is Dr. Sirimavu Nair. It is my privilege to introduce an exceptional scholar and leader in the field of nutrition, public health, and interdisciplinary sciences. With over 30 years of international and transdisciplinary experience, Dr. Nair has seamlessly integrated natural sciences, basic sciences, and social sciences into her work, creating innovative solutions to global health challenges. Currently, Dr. Nair serves as a professor in the Department of Foods and Nutrition, where she excels in teaching, research, and leadership. Her contributions to faculty development, student welfare, and institutional quality enhancement as the Deputy Director of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell are truly commendable. Additionally, she is an editor and reviewer for prestigious journals advancing academic excellence worldwide. Dr. Nair's influence extends far beyond academia. She serves as a scientist and chair on the Nutrition and Fortification panel of the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, a technical advisory group member on fortified rice for the Ministry of Public Distribution, and an advisor for the World Food Programme in India. Her collaborations with global organizations like UNICEF, WHO, and leading universities across the USA, Spain, and China underscore her commitment to improving public health outcomes. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sirimavu Nair, a visionary leader and an advocate for global health and nutrition. As we dive into today's interesting discussion, I would like to inform our audience that our speaker will be taking questions from you after our main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box or use the raise hand tool, and we will allow you to ask your question in person. I request everyone to turn on your webcam for interactive part of the webinar. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Sirimavu Nair as she shares her inspiring journey and valuable insights into food fortification and public health and an approach to address malnutrition. Good morning, ma'am. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you so much, Trishant, for introducing me. That was so many kind words you have put through. I would like to say, welcome everybody. Good morning. I would like to thank Vishwa for inviting me. And I would like to thank each and everyone who has joined as a participant. I am serving the university since 30 years. I've just retired few days back from the university, joining another one, but I'm still serving that FSSAI and other ministries which I am aligned with. And I continue the support till whatever time the ministry requests us to do. Thank you so much. I hope I'll be able to do a justice. So can we go to the presentation? I'll make few slides, and after that, maybe people can take up the questions.
Yes, can you please share the PPT?
Yes.
Yes, it's on your screen now, ma'am.
Yeah. So my area of talk is today food fortification and public health, an approach to address malnutrition. Next slide. Can I operate the slide from here, or you will push it from there?
You can just ask him to
move that slide. Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
he will do it instantly.
Food defines our health. We all know that because food is a major part of our life. Everybody has to have minimal 2 meals a day. When I say minimal, I'm talking of all the people who are lying at the borders of our country and who are also sometimes not able to access certain amount of food. So it's important to understand what are we consuming on a regular and a daily basis. Next. We need to understand how good are we eating, and most of our diets are high in cereals because some parts of the country takes wheat, some part takes rice, other parts and other consumables which we have are like in common, the people consume maize, pearl millets, which we call as jowar and bajri. And these are common food items which people are consuming, but we have a diet which are very high in cereals and they give more of carbohydrates or simple sugars for the daily life. Next. Next slide. So some of the realities which we go through are not very encouraging. We have vitamins, minerals which are required for our everyday. We function good when we have good vitamins functioning in us and minerals functioning in us, where we will have to have good health to have fight disease. And especially India being a very high burden country with anemia, vitamin A, vitamin D deficiencies, iodine deficiencies, etc. Simple diets and staple foods with low consumption of fruits, vegetables, etc. cause a major concern for the public. And these are some of the things which we need to understand, that we need to have these as regular items and we need to consume them in good quantities. Now, therefore, everybody is sometimes not afford to buy those. Sometimes people can take them, sometimes they cannot. Sometimes markets are available, sometimes markets are disrupted. So, in the year 2013, the former president, with due respect to him, former prime minister, with due respect to him, Dr. Manmohan Singh introduced the Food Nutrition Security Act in the year 2013, wherein all the people could have some meal with vitamins, minerals, and food security per se was being addressed. When you look at the nutrition and the health indicators, you will see that children less than 5 years are being stunted. So what is stunting is they won't grow in height as per their age, which is 38% of our population. Children less than 5 who are wasted, which is weight for height. That means they are growing tall, but they are not gaining enough weight, which is 21%. And underweight, which is 35%. 6 to 59 months are very young children, babies who are anemic. So we count their anemia on cutoff at 11%, 11 grams per DL of the hemoglobin. And that is coming about 58% of the children. Non-pregnant women, 53%, pregnant women, 50%. Actually, if you look at the current data, the pregnant women are on 56 and 59%. So it was a big concern for the government how to address this. We are talking of hunger, food, malnutrition, so many forms which we need to address was coming through in. Next slide. So we looked at it, and hunger and malnutrition were going hand in hand. Next, they would affect us intellectually, physically, and thus leading to compromised health and survival. There are various diseases. Continue tapping, Rakesh. And next, yeah. So there were poor cognitive and learning abilities, low achievement in school, low productivity among the population. All this usually happens when there is malnourishment due to minerals, vitamins, as well as the food which comes in. And these low productivity are affecting the GDP as per the investment of a person is concerned. And these are some of the things which are right away from the mother's womb, and we can address them. They are preventable, and therefore we need to put in all the efforts to take it up. So the need for fortification arose when we have, you can see the pictures very clearly. We have enough quantity, but not enough quality, where you can see the children wasting and stunting happening in both the cases. So micronutrient deficiencies, which are irreversible, but they are not taken care, will have always some kind of a adverse impact on children who are on their growth stages. So every second child is being undernourished when they are sent to school. We do have certain programs for them now. Government has played a lot of initiatives, and thus food fortification was thought of as a strategy. And the government took the initiatives right from 2014. Discussions went on in 2015. Meetings were called with various ministries, public forums to address these issues, get suggestions. And thus the government took a decision that we will go for staple food fortification, which is being considered by which is having access through the public distribution system and can be considered for reaching out into the masses. So let me talk on what is food fortification. So when I say staple foods, I would like to mean very specifically rice and wheat, because the country is on the major consumption of rice and wheat. So we add micronutrients and vitamins in these staple foods. They are quite effective as far as cost is concerned. They are scalable, and also they are a sustainable solution. They are a cause of action where we can have the prevention measures advocated, and they are widely accepted. They do not change odor, taste of the food, etc. And thus people wouldn't be affected majorly by these issues. So these would address iron deficiency anemia, iodine deficiency anemia. So we add certain micronutrients. So as per the government of India's guidelines, we have fortification of wheat flour under ICDS, which is Integrated Child Development Service, where our children go to Anganwadis, and they are given the food which are based on these. And MDM, which is also known as PM Poshan, which is catered to all the school children as one meal, which will have 9 micronutrients in them, which are all named here. And these micronutrients are calculated per 50 grams. And we make a calculation by the meal which is provided per child, how much they consume, and so that it gets to them in the required amount. These are calculated on a regular dietary basis, as much as each children would consume, and that is in 3 divisions of the age group which is calculated. The other initiative was to have distribution of iodized salt through the public distribution system. And iodized salt has seen a good success right from 2006 when we started iodizing. Now you don't see any kind of goiters which are precipitating, except for very, very high hilly regions where more of goitrogens are precipitated. That is because everybody is consuming iodized salt. We have a mandate by government from 2006, and that has been implemented very clearly. All livestock and human consumption salt are iodized, and this program brought in good control on iodine deficiency disorders, which reduced stillbirth, abortions, low birth weight babies, and prevention of irregular damages which are happening to the neural system, the brain system, retardation of the mental abilities, etc. And that improved school performances of children by 13 IQ points. So these were some of the benefits which we understood. So in Gujarat itself, we had a tribal sub-plan with the state government. They purchased the salt and they would procure it and they would distribute it through various systems and especially to various tribal districts because the reachability is very less for them. And they supplied at a rate of 1 rupee per kg. So government bears the cost of these. These are subsidized rates which are given to them. And so the subsidy is about, say, 1.46 per kg, which is borne by the state government. So these were some of the encouraging things which have been observed, and that's why the government took certain initiatives to go for further the fortification program to address the masses, because for the rich and the poor, it will be available in equal amounts. Based on the nutrition security analysis in India in 2019, we understood three core dimensions of food security was availability, access, and utilization, and the outcome of these concerns. So we had made certain attention to the food baskets which we are providing. Especially, we made certain hampers for the mother who comes and registers in an Anganwadi as soon as she is pregnant, and we give her double fortified salt, vitamins, minerals, tablets to address iron deficiency, etc. So these were one of the kind of approaches which has been done. And diversification on fortification and dietary diversification we carried out, asking the mothers to also consume a lot of vegetables and fruits as much as they can consume. And that also created a lot of impact with people going across and continuing with their regular dietary habits. So not only that they consume fortified food staples, but also they should consume locally available foods so that it balances the, we call it as food matrix, it balances the absorption as well as the intake of vitamins and minerals. So this is a gist of what the FSSAI has mandated as an order, with iron in whether it is in wheat or rice or in salt, to come up to 850 to 1100 mg, iodine 15 mg, 15 micrograms per the consumption, vitamin A as 6 μg, and if it is in a retinol form, 9.9 μg is what we ask. Vitamin D, which we have been used as plant sources, milk, then wheat, flour, and rice. Now, altogether of these 5 major products, we can add on zinc, vitamin A, thiamine, riboflavin, etc. if we see B vitamin deficiency in the population. And therefore, we had good amount of resources to do this. And we also took care that we are doing this by using all vegetarian sources. And that has been a very big success. Initially, we had troubles in setting this up and doing the technology transfer and making it to the manufacturers, to train them, to address them, address the FDCA officials, how to test them, how to improve them. All these things have been taken care, and FSSAI did a good quality assurance, quality control along with the public distribution system. And that's how these came into practice, and it got gazetted in the year 2018. Next slide, please. So this was the gazette which has been given. The gazette very clearly had the regulations where it had ranges given, minimum and maximum for micronutrients, and the levels have been adjusted to give 30 to 50% of a person's regular dietary allowance. The rest, we want people to consume the local foods. Then we had bioavailable sources of nutrients which are added for the iron absorption. Only plant sources were used for vitamin D. And vanaspati, which is high in fat, we are a country now having a lot of non-communicable disease, and especially younger generation having more of heart ailments and things. So we have removed the high fat content from the whole process, and vanaspati has been removed for the fortification. And all these were to be mandated by 1st July 2019, and that's how we have been taking things into consideration. So we have a logo which helps people to identify, which is plus F, which says Sampurna Poshan Swasth Jeevan. And this has been very clearly kept for wide awareness for the public to choose the products when they go for purchasing grocery and things like that. So they can look at the packets, and if it is a plus F logo, that means it's a tested product and also has been passed a QC and has come into the market. So next, please. So the major concern which we had were vitamin A, which helps us to prevent night blindness, D, which supports strong bones, iron fighting anemia, folic acid important for fetal development when the baby is in the womb itself, B12 for better nervous system development, and iodine for normal growth and not to have stunting or any other issues with thyroid which affects the baby in the womb itself. So we had milk, oil, rice, and wheat flour, double fortified salt as general commodities which would come through the public distribution system or through the major food safety net programs, which are the ICDS and the MDM programs. Next, please. So these are just giving you an idea how the directives have been used by Ministry of Human Resource Development. In 2011 was the first order which came that we should be starting to use some of these products in the PM Poshan program, which used to be called as the midday meal program. And in 2017, there were some more addition to that with mandatory wheat flour, oil, and double fortified salt, which has been given by the ministry to all the states in India. Next. We also had Ministry of Women and Child Development talking about the same in 2011 and 2017, and again in 2019, emphasizing the need because the children who were in the Anganwadi were the ones which were most affected, and thus they were asked to get into the system. I need to pause for just 1 second. Give me just exactly 1 second.
Sure, ma'am.
Right. So further, what we would see was in the public distribution system, things came up from 2016 onwards, where first we addressed the food security and then we went for the nutrition security per se. And in 2019, we had the orders issued for them also. And so this was taken up by the Ministry of Health as a concern. And as I said, various meetings and discussions happened, and all the gazettes were put up for public comments for 3 months at the Ministry of Health website, and all comments were taken into serious consideration before these were all implemented. Next, please. So we also had, the government has various partners, and these partners are the ones which would take up, because they would be NGOs which would be working, they would be international as well as local NGOs. So each partner has put in a lot of effort along with the government to bring this up. So we had DFS, wheat flour, etc. By Tata Trust, GAIN, World Food Program, WFP, PATH, Nutrition International, etc. So these were the major involvement of those people, and along with the funding which came from the World Bank, because any program to be run, we need funds, and the World Bank agreed to fund the programs to launch certain things in India at that point of time. Next, please. Next slide. Yeah. So looking at the cost, how much was the cost which was coming to the government, how much they could bear. So for MDM and ICDS, with rice was coming for 30 to 40 paise, wheat flour 8 to 10 paise, oil 10 to 12 paise, DFS 2 to 3, and milk less than 2 paise. These calculations are based in 2018, and this has now slightly increased a little bit more, but the cost is not very high for the government, and at the same time, the masses are being addressed with the benefits. Now we are also started seeing some of the results. So there, as I said, these were easy to scale up. So whenever we run a program, we need to scale up those programs, and that is how we run through the program as a betterment for the public. So we have the MHRD allocation of food grains to the FCI, and also from the FCI, it goes to the public distribution dealers and the FPS, which we call as the local areas in the villages. We have FPS shops, which are fair price shops, which are where we call it as a simple ration shop, where people can purchase things. And so we had certain good advantages from the FCI godowns. We had blending units for fortification of wheat and rice, and then there could be a cooperative or a miller who was involved at a local level. And from the PDS dealer to the FPS, we had another option. Again, we can use some of the SHGs who are having centralized kitchen or centralized system in a local level. And from the FPS to the schools, we had the procurement done through the open market system or by having the vending done by the government. This was a possibility which we addressed, so that also it creates employment for people, and it also helps in developing business for the local people out over there. Next, please. This very similar workout was carried out for ICDS also, with very similar options, but ICDS had the SHGs for specifically preparing the food products for children, because in MDM we were talking of only one meal, but with small children under 5, we were talking of meals in the morning, in the afternoon, and also a take home in the around 3 o'clock. The children leave, and if so, they would take home something as a kind of a mini snack. So for them, there were certain additional provisions which were made, and that were to have hot cooked meals and also have dry meals when they go home. So these shelf life, quality issues, quality assurance, all these are completely taken care, and the government took those initiatives to run these programs. Next. So some of the products which we have currently is these food products in the market. So we have, we also give these as kind of advertisements to people on the website. If you go and see, all these products and the details of these products are available on the website. So there is salt, there is wheat, there is rice, oil, and milk, which is available in the public market also, apart from the public distribution system, so that the people can have choice and have their consumption. Awareness is given to everybody. We are a democratic country. We can ask people to have some of these. It will help them to improve their regular mineral vitamin intakes. We are not forcing anybody and not saying that they have to eat, but we give that awareness. If they eat, how good it is and how good the next generation will be becoming better, especially when it is consumed by a pregnant mother. Next, please. So we have Food Fortification Resources Center in FSSAI office. When you look at the website, they at each one you can understand more details, and a lot of information is given about all the products which have been fortified, or all the programs by which the government is running it, and continuously we keep updating these with a lot of inputs as and when things are coming. A lot of questions do come from various corners of our own country, also sometimes from outside the country. And these are continuously addressed by team of technical officers at the Food Fortification Center. Next. So we were not very new to fortification. We started fortification in 1930s, where an organization called as PATH had started looking at provision of rice, especially. And from then onwards, we had up and down. Any program keeps going up and down sometimes, and we had certain up and downs in these programs also. As I said, iodized salt, the work was started in India in 1962, and that also went on up and down for some time. So the FFRC, what they do is they provide technical assistance, and the technical assistance where they can have advocacy materials, fortified food products protocols which are developed, assurance which has been addressed, and then procurement assistance. Suppose if you want to tender them or take it from certain accredited manufacturers, then help and support is available. We do train and build capacities of various food safety officers, regulatory staff. We have now 240 accredited labs across India. Anybody can pick a sample from the market or a public distribution system and go there and give it for checking. They can understand how much iron and other minerals are there in that. All that is a very open system which is available now. The support service, again, we have is completely linked with all the states, and state FDCA offices are also trained. Supply chain mapping is also a very big process where it has been completely now, what I would like to say, geotagged, right from where a truck moves from the fair price shop, I mean from the district office to the fair price shop, and then the people do receive messages on their mobiles that their commodity has arrived and they can go. So the supply chain mapping also has been completely now digitized very well, and great accolades to the Prime Minister for taking those initiatives are there. We also have monitoring and evaluation as a continuous process, and every 2 years we do keep collecting those data to analyze and see whether to strengthen the program or the program is running good or bad, and then certain actions and measures are taken. Next, please. A lot of communication and support has been done. So any program, when we start, the public needs to understand about it. So newspaper media, audio media, and visual media, both are used. Print and media people may not access so much in villages. So we put hoardings, we put pictures, because people look at the pictures and try to understand more. And so a lot of radio spots, video spots are developed by the office, and they communicate across. And each state has an IEC office, that is educational materials, which we provide to them. They use them for training and they support them. Next, please. So we have social media awareness which has been created, asking the people to have look for the +F logo, know your micronutrients, natural and synthetic vitamins, what are the differences, how is it used. We have various workshops, labs which are conducted. Some social media inputs are always generated as soon as a program is done, so that people are aware and people are immediately updated on them. Next, please. We also had the opportunity to involve certain celebrities, because the common public listens to a lot of celebrities than to various scientists or researchers who are working or in the field areas. So we had Miss Sakshi Tanwar, who is a very known figure, especially with mothers, because they do watch the serials whenever they get the time. And so we asked her to vouch for having the logo of +F to be fortified. And we started with the oils, because no family will ever cook without oil. So we started with that with her. And we have 40 seconds, 60 seconds English and Hindi videos and YouTube links to where public can access them. And we currently also moved to Eat Right movement, where we don't want people to consume more oil, sugar, or fat. We want them to have less of them. So we have Mr. Rajkumar and Mr. Virat Kohli uh, talking to us with a sign like taking less. So they put this kind of a sign and say that namak, chini, tel kam khaye. So that was a big campaign which we did through schools in India, colleges, universities, because we wanted children to be sensitized on that, and then public forums were conducted on the same. Next, please. So various foods can be fortified, and there were criterias for selection of various food products where people are consuming it. So universal consumption, where wheat, rice, oil, salt, and milk are consumed by one and all. Diets, which were cereal based and especially rice, which was consumed by 70 to 90% of our population. The population is therefore entirely covered. We have constant amounts which can meet their regular daily allowances. As I said, we want 30 to 50% of their allowances to be taken care of and the rest to come. So that 30 to 50 is like taking into account of 1/3 of what they consume, and the rest 2/3 we want them to consume from the local vegetables and food which they can afford to. No change in quality, no change in color, taste, etc. It's a centralized processing system, and then it goes to various distribution channels. Next, please. So the benefits are regular consumption. Fortified staples help to meet 25 to 30% of our requirements. Highly acceptable by consumers. High bioavailability. So when I say bioavailability, after the food is digested, for getting absorption better, the micronutrients are absorbed better through the food system itself, and that is where it is blended with the food. And regular consumption would bring better health and will not require a big behavior change in the pattern of consumption with the common public. Next. Strategies for prevention of all these deficiencies. It's a proven strategy, low cost. The technology did not cost much. The technology has been transferred now to India quite well. And we have iron, folic acid, vitamin A, B12, etc. now blended into our foods. Consistent delivery, rapid impact, you see, safety in low daily doses. We are consuming them in less quantities and low dosages so that we don't have any vitamin or iron toxicity which can develop. Minimal behavior change. So this helps us to enhance our performance completely. Daily performance. Everyone has to function minimum 8 hours daily in a very systematic fashion. So that does not get hampered on our work, and that is being addressed. Yes, next please. Next slide. So these are some of the kits which we have been going for various campaigns. These are from various parts of India. So let us eat right. Let us join hands to have a good fortification system running and benefiting our future generation of children. Click across, please. So let us eat right. Let us eat fortified. Next. Next. So we will have improved quality for one and all. Next. So these are some of the campaign materials which we make. This is in Gujarati language. This is from Gujarat. I just got this just 2 days back. So this is fortified rice. We can see the plus F logo on that, and people can identify them. So we are talking about that, and the womb is shown to understand where it's affecting the baby's growth in a betterment. and iron as double fortified, showing the Shakti logo which is there. Next, we also have one for the salt, and thus it's been considered. Next, please. And that was, yes. So in Gujarat, it is coming in the name of Kalpataru and Sattva. There are two varieties given for pregnant mothers. We wanted to go a little low in sodium, but betterment in iron, iodine, and potassium for their welfare. I think that was the last slide. Thank you so much for listening to me with a lot of patience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Sure.
Thank you so much. That was extremely fulfilling and insightful information. We have a lot of questions in the chat box,
Right.
but before I move to the Q&A, I'd just like to take 30 seconds of your time
Sure.
for a quick poll. This is for the audience, and this will help us get to know you better and tailor the future topics that we bring to you. Big thanks to everyone here today. Your presence and participation means a lot to us and makes this webinar a huge success. While you fill out the poll, I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to ma'am for giving her time today to us and all the valuable insights and time. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Oh, most welcome.
Um,
Thank you for inviting me.
okay, I'm gonna start. Anybody who wants to ask questions directly to the speaker can use the raise hand tool in the lower section of Zoom. You can find it in more or in React button. You'll find the raise hand tool. I'll start reading out the questions from the chat box as well. Okay,
Sure.
we have a question from Shmuel Yerushalmi. Before I move on to his question, I'll just let the poll result conclude. Just a minute. While everyone's answering the poll questions, I'd like to share a little bit about what we do at Vishwa, our mission, and how you can contribute. Vishwa is an online platform for everyday change makers and social champions. It's a crowdfunding and crowdsourcing platform that is aimed at helping everyone find the support they need in their efforts to fulfill dreams for themselves and for others, and in the process, make the world a better place. So, as the chilly breeze sets in, we have set a fundraiser to connect a lot of blankets and clothes for colder places right now. So there's a fundraiser going on for that. You can check it out on our website, and Rakesh will put in the links in the chat as well. We've had donation campaigns for laptops, which we use for computer education workshops. So we receive laptops from different bodies, corporates, and individuals, and we use them for computer education workshops in slums area in Rajendra Nagar, Tagutur, Shaikpet, MG Nagar Basti, which is primarily Hyderabad. And this by taking part in this, you can be a part of Vishwa's skill development project. We've had a massive success with our Annadanam campaigns, which is to curb hunger and malnutrition in Hyderabad. Thanks to donations from some of our viewers, contribution to the Vishwa Annadanam campaign is bringing about tangible change in the lives of those struggling to make ends meet. Vishwa has been conducting social awareness talks, both online and offline, for the past 3 years to facilitate change. If any of these talks have moved you, inspired you, or benefited you, we request you to support us. We request you to share our programs, the fundraisers, the awareness campaigns of any topics that are pertinent to your fields, you can share them with ones who need it more. And that would be really helpful for us to reach out to more and more people. Yeah, with this, I would like to conclude the poll, and I can move on with the Q&A session now. The first question is from Shmuel Yerushalmi. Good morning, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Good
you.
morning. Good morning. Okay,
Good.
very interesting presentation. And I want to ask you a question. How, according to your opinion, food fortification can support effective addressing poverty and social inequality?
Yes. Thank you so much, for that question. What it does is, this program addresses the rich and the poor together. The rich is able to afford things from the market, so it is on a cost which they can afford. And for the below poverty line and the people who are not so well to do, they can depend on the public distribution system. So in the public distribution system, we are giving rice 30 kgs and wheat 35 kgs per person as based on a Food Security Act. So these food products are fortified and they get these food products for rupees 2 and rupees 3 per kg as per the Indian cost is there. So that very clearly suggests, so suppose if a laborer is there and not able to get a lot of money in 1 week, but we are expecting them with them in Rega to at least score 1,000 rupees in a week where they get 3 days work also, minimally that is also calculated. They can go and purchase at least 15 kgs and use the rest of the money to buy other food products. So when they buy for 15 kgs, 2 rupees a kg and 3 rupees a kg, they have 2 commodities of the staple to consume, and rest of the money can be used for purchases of other food items or any other household work. So it addresses the social inequality which happens knowingly, unknowingly, whichever way, and can be taken care completely on a long run if the program is continuously moving. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, this answer, but I can to ask you in continuance of previous question, what government and authorities of India do in practice for ensuring food security in India?
So in food security, through the public distribution system by the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, they are giving 30 kg wheat and 30 kg rice and 35 kg wheat to the consumers to buy it per kg 2 rupees and 3 rupees, which is a very, very, very minimal cost. So
Thank
that,
you very much.
yeah, so that nobody is sleeping at the end of the day without food.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Ma'am, the next question is from Kedar Ishwar Chaudhary. Is food fortification planned only for PDS and MDM or any other channel for distributions?
Food fortification through the government programs, through the government safety net, it is through the public distribution system. And MDM also, when they keep their vendors, it is through the public distribution system, both for ICDS and the MDM. Other than that, for the common public, the things are available in the market. So it's an open market. People can do business, can make their own money, At the same time, do a social contribution by addressing mineral vitamin deficiencies. That's how it is seen.
Wonderfully answered. Thank you so much. The next question is by Grace, ma'am. What are the plant sources of vitamin D?
Lichens.
Lichens.
I do not know the Hindi word for lichens. Sorry about it. Lichens are the ones which are used for majorly taking up the vitamin D. So that costs a little bit more, and that cost is borne by the government.
Lichens is LIC.
HENS.
Okay. It's a okay. Kai is also a term for it in Hindi. Kai.
Okay. Kai. Okay, I'll
I
keep
just
in
looked
mind.
it up. How can common people take benefit? Dr. S.K. Goyal, BHU, Varanasi.
Yeah. So common people have the benefit by taking it into their regular diet. As I said, we want them to have 1/3 of their vitamins, minerals consumption daily addressed, regularly addressed. So I'll give you one simple example. We are talking now, all of us are consuming iodized salt, which is iodized at 27 ppm when the manufacturer is doing. And when it comes to the consumer, even if the losses are happening, when the consumer takes it, it comes to 15 ppm. Now, this 15 ppm is adjusted by the regular requirement of iodine, which is 150 μg per person per day. 150 μg, which is a very tiny amount. Μg, when I say, it's a very tiny amount, and that is all is required for the thyroid gland to function per day per person. So we adjust these as per calculations, looking into how much metric tons we need to iodize, and that many we give a calculation, and we give the fortificant to the manufacturer and talk to them how to do this, and we also train them how to do this. So the WHO has said 5 grams of salt is what maximum people should take. So now we are reducing the salt intake with all populations. So how the public is benefiting is, when you add 5 to 8 grams of salt, as far as Gujarat and Rajasthan is concerned, slightly higher, but southern states do take inside 8 grams of salt only, and they get 150 μg of iodine every day, because we have to cook that. Without salt, nobody's going to eat food. So we have to cook that. And we also advocate to people that after half cook the vegetables, then only add the salt. So we want them to be retained, the iodine to be retained. Iodine will sublime only if you put it directly into hot oil. So everybody should get, so say for example, iron, B12 and folic acid in rice and wheat. For all populations, we need to address their deficiencies, and iodine through the salt. So we are looking at the major inputs which are coming. And for children, vitamin A and D in the milk, oil also fortified with vitamin D. Oil has already A, D, E, and K. If you look at the content of the oil, it is very clear. So this is the benefit which is being provided to the public. I hope that solves.
The next question is by Preeti. Using plant resources, how can we begin startups?
Okay. So the government of India with the Ministry of Human Resources have reached out as Youth Affairs. If you go to the site, you will see Ministry for Youth Affairs. And also they help you to go. There is a lot of procedures involved though, but you can look up and start filling an application. They call you for an interview, and then they look at your content. There are experts who will come and look at the idea which you are talking of, and then they fund you. So you can start up. All the best, Preeti.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And the next question is from Sylvia S. I am pursuing BTech Food Technology second year. Kindly share me some ideas to shine in my life, ma'am, after completing my degree. Which sector can I go to? How to prepare for the FSSAI examination?
Okay. So after BTech of food, you can go to various institutions. We have At present, two national institutions, which we call as National Institute of Food Technology and Management. One is in Haryana, one is in Tanjavur, which is in Tamil Nadu. And we also have now aligned all the IITs to improve the technologies and transfer the technologies. For the food specifically, there is a wing created, and that can be another source. And for FSSAI examinations, they keep publishing on the website. So keep looking through that. They do give certain training, and we call it as FOSCOS training. So all these are available on the FSSAI website.
You. Our organization, the next question is by Kiranmai Korlanguta from Andhra Pradesh. Our organization wants to conduct trainings on fortification and its importance to the frontline workers. How can we get assistance in that?
There are various 5 major ones which I spoke who were participants in fortification. In Karnataka, there is KHPT, Karnataka Health Promotion Trust, which is nearby to your state, and that's where, So you can write to them. You can also write to FSSAI. There is an SBCC section. The SBCC means Social Behavioral Change Communication section. You can write to them. They will provide you a lot of assistance through the local office which is there.
Thank you. The next question is from Grace again. What is an ideal approach to give awareness on fortified foods in rural areas? She's given an instance. Certain statements that I have come across is interviewee asks, it is plastic rice. Interviewer is like, how did you arrive at this conclusion? Interviewer is like, while washing, the rice floats above.
Correct.
So how to deal with such cases?
Yeah, so these kind of issues happened much early when we initiated the technology. Now that will not happen because we also have talked to the public distribution system. They stack the rice on a shelf. So we have told them whenever you move a new sack, just rotate it so that the rice gets blended everywhere. And initially this used to happen because the density of we call it as fortified rice kernels. So one kernel which is fortified is mixed with 99 kernels, and that is good enough for the amount of iron and vitamins to be spread. So we have a proportion 1 kg of FRK is to so many tons, and that's how we do it. And so we have asked them to do this once again before this open a sack and restart redistributing. But now these issues should not happen because the density has been improved, the quality has been improved. A lot of quality check keeps happening. On an average, all manufacturers, once they make, they have to send 10% of their samples tested and 1 non-tested sample to FSSAI. Yeah. I lost your voice.
Thank
Not
you.
it. Yes, okay.
The next question is from Zainab. Ma'am, I'm into cold pressed oil. Which mineral can we fortify it with, and what's the process?
Oh, the cold press technology itself is a big technology. You can fortify with A, D, E, and K depending upon what you need to add and why you want to do it. And I would suggest at present in Niftam Kundali, which is in Haryana, they have an expert who is doing this. Trishant, I would be able to connect you to them. You can share their email or anything to the
Sure, ma'am.
person.
The next question is from Mr. Kedareshwar Chaudhary. What could be the role of non-profit organizations working at a community level?
Correct. So they can get in touch, first of all, with the state government or the district government and help in supporting to reach out to the masses, either making educational campaigns, supporting the distribution channel, addressing the local issues. There's a lot of support which is needed at the community level, on the ground level to educate the consumers, to talk to them and give them that assurance. This is not plastic rice. This is tested And I would also like to vouch, first testing, always anything which I promote to government, I will do it at my own place, in my own house. And then only I am talking it to research level, then only I am moving it into the publication and the government. So I would like to encourage all the NGOs and participants who are working at community level. I myself do go into the community and talk to them, talk to mothers. What I do basically is to gather them at the Anganwadi. It is easy for me to tell the mothers what is this and how it is this being used. We also do school campaigns. We also go to community reach outs wherever they ask us to come. And that's through the district. Since you are on a local level, easy to approach the district. Each state gets 5 lakhs for making communication materials. So we can access them through their system.
Sir has also asked for a contact for future consultation. If you may, I will share the email address
Sure,
with you.
definitely. Please do. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is by Dr. Niyati Jalpa Joshi. How will we be dealing with social stratification with respect to food fortification?
We are looking at vulnerable population, which are school children, Anganwadi children, pregnant mothers, lactating mothers, and then the elderlies in the house. The rest of the people basically would consume anything which is coming across. So the strategy is based on the percentage, as I gave you first, by looking at the national data of our population. At present, we are 56 and 59% anemia with children and pregnant mothers. So the first priority goes to them, then the rest of it. So why involve these food safety nets and why we are addressing them is by looking into that strata who is most affected.
Ma'am, could you please tell us step-by-step process of making fortification rice?
How? So that's a long process. So,
Long.
yeah. So what we do is we take the rice, normal rice. Okay. And say, for example, I'm taking 1 kg of rice. We'll powder that and we add vitamins and minerals as per the specification which is given in the FSSAI mandate. So the lowest is to add 28.5 micrograms and go up to maximum 42.5. So you blend with these, the range is given in this level so that sometimes it goes little low, sometimes it goes little up. And we don't want to penalize any manufacturers. So we ask them to blend the vitamins and minerals into this. And we have a certain specific size for the rice kernel. And there are certain measures for the powder which we mix when the rice powder is made. And that is how we make the fortified rice kernels. And those kernels are then dried in a, there are machineries for this, and it's a powdered sector where it is blended very well. The powdering is done. So the whole machinery is set up by various agencies who are into this, and the technology transfer was done by World Food Program first for India, and then it went across. Another institution was Path, who made golden rice, which was rich in vitamin A. And so this fortified rice kernel is then blended into the normal rice. As I said, 1 kernel to 99. So there are automated machines which will do this process. We can't count, right? So there are automated machines which will help in the blending. So right from making the FRK, so we need to purchase the vitamins, minerals from a qualified, standardized person who is approved by the FSSAI. And then the procedure starts.
Ma'am, the next question is by Purvi Trivedi. I want to know if cooking in traditional utensils like iron provide any additional benefits.
This question has been coming up various times. In olden days, we used to have patthar ka kadai and iron kadai, where some of the materials will leach out depending upon the kind of food product which is being cooked. Say, for example, if you use an iron kadai and if you had lemon or any acidic product into it, iron will slightly leach out, not to the extent which is needed by the body, but these practices now are not in the common practice by the public. If you ask me, my grandmother used to prepare sambar in vessel which is made up of rock. So it had minerals and vitamins, and they used to have big chulas. Uh, in Kerala, there is a lot of wood and trees available. So the old practices were that. At present, we are not into any of those practices. Very rarely you will see somebody doing that. So how much is being leached or how much is being available is a big question.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, before I move on to there's about 4 or 5 questions left.
Sure,
Before I
we can
move on to
complete.
those, I would just take a minute and inform the participants about the upcoming talks.
Sure.
So on next week, 4th of January 2025, 11 a.m. to 12 noon, we have architect Medha Nani Vadekar, founder of FECO Math Network. She's going to talk about the importance of anti-littering and anti-garbage dumping movements that are very much required to fight climate change and climate action from the public side. So the next talk right after that is by Ms. Karuna Sharma. She's a sustainability consultant, and she's going to talk on steps needed to fight climate change, climate actions for individuals, government, and organization. This talk is on 11th January 2025. You'll find the links in the chat box, and you can also register from our website. Moving on to the next question again, ma'am. It's by Ms. Binu Benny. What are the important foods to have increased HB level for pregnant women in rural areas?
India consumes a lot of green leafy vegetables. So generally, we advocate them on that. Good amount of green leafy vegetables. But what happens is the iron absorption doesn't happen so well. So we also tell them to consume vitamin C rich foods along with them, which are gooseberry, lemon, amla, some of those common foods which are available. And that will enhance whatever iron was present in that to get absorbed. So this is one major practice. Guava is one good fruit which contains good amount of vitamin C, and that is another source which we can talk about. So iron-rich foods basically will, inherent iron will be there in almost a lot of foods which are generally consumed, but the availability is the question because we say that the phytochemicals means the chemicals in the plants itself hamper the absorption. That's where we are asking them to take the vitamin C so that it enhances the absorption. So the general fruits, as I said, vitamin C rich fruits should be consumed maximum, and green leafy vegetables as far as India is concerned. Other than that, non-vegetarian foods, definitely meat products do have good amount of iron. So if the family is a non-vegetarian, you can advocate them to consume 100 to 150 grams per person, depending upon their requirement.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next one, by M. Niharika Reddy. I am currently pursuing MSc Nutrition and Dietetics, second year for my research work. I have interest on food fortification. Can you please give some advice and can share other sectors where it helps my career for my future?
She is based at which place?
She's not mentioned the place. She's
Oh,
pursuing MSc Nutrition and Dietetics second year as a part of her research.
okay. So if she wants to go to clinical, then the whole aspect is different. if you want to go to public health, then the whole aspect is different. So some of the interesting way to look at it is to what she would like to pursue in nutrition. She should look into the keywords and type them out. And in India, a lot of information is available on Ministry of Health. And there is, in India, we have a dietetic association. I hope she's a member of that. Indian
She's in
Diet.
Hyderabad itself. Yes,
Okay.
I've got an update.
Okay. So she can look into the Indian Dietetic Association, Nutrition Society of India. Then she can also check with National Institute of Nutrition. Since she's in Hyderabad, that is the easiest access which she can have. And then depending upon her interest, she should put the keywords and search. You can share my email with her. Then if she has more questions, I will put answers to that.
Thank you so much. The next question is by Purvi Trivedi again. I read an article which mentioned a study conducted somewhere in Northeast where midday meal was prepared in iron utensil and it showed marked improvement in hemoglobin content of students. My question is that why does such simple solution are not available, are not implemented or made mandatory at all midday preparation units?
Please share the article. I will first read the article, check how much of iron from
Correct.
baseline to end line improved, number one. Number two, what was the cooking procedure? How was it made? What was the consumption by the midday meal? How many children participated? What is scaled up? I need to know that before I answer.
I will pass on your email to her as well,
Sure.
so that she can
Yeah.
just
Also, I would like to tell her that if that was the case, then we would have advocated why government will invest money in this, right? We are investing 248 crores to make fortified rice. Okay, we wouldn't be investing. I would then advocate, no, buy iron kadai and make food. I gave my own household example when my grandmother used to do that a long time back. Now we can't afford to do that. Yes, next, please.
Yes. The next question is by Shakti Priya. Good morning, ma'am. Do encapsulation have same efficiency as fortification?
When we are fortifying, we are using the technique micro encapsulation itself so that, say, let's take an example, so that these encapsulated materials once reach into your stomach, the acid of the stomach is helping them to open. And as per the need and requirement, the receptors would come up and would be absorbed in the proportion needed only. So the same technology is used in fortification, micro encapsulation.
Okay. Apart from the fortification on raw food materials, how do I apply this food fortification knowledge for a new product development? This question is by Komal Potekar.
Okay. So suppose now there are a lot of people who are coming up with millets because millets and ragi is one consumption which is coming as an option. So you need to check what is the inherent iron present in that. Then you want to enrich further, then you need to see which technology suits best, how much money can you invest. You need to, best is to approach a food technological institution and take help from them. Ministry of Food Processing gives a lot of funds to do this, and they do encourage a lot of youngsters to make startup.
Thank you. Mitra is asking a question. What is plastic rice? Is it sold in market? And how do we understand if it's plastic rice?
Okay, you can burn the rice. If you burn and if you see plastic, then you accept it as plastic. And all these were a lot of myths which were created by people saying that this is plastic rice. So when I'm saying I myself go and check the quality, I do not want to endorse anything which is called as plastic rice.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is by So Rekha, which is better to buy wheat and rice from local farmers or fortified from market mall?
So say for example, if I am in your place, I want to eat fortified, I will go buy fortified. Next month, I will go buy from a farmer. I will put both options because I can afford. So I will buy.
Um, that's, I think, all the questions we have for today. Okay, we have one more question from Mr. Mayangsi. Sorry. Does fortification not disturb the natural proportion of nutrients in the grain? Is fortification really needed if the grain is grown using natural practices?
Okay. I have two answers to that. One is we are looking on options on biofortification. So Indian Council of Agriculture Research has come out with 91 varieties of crops, and some of them we have done biofortification. So what is biofortification? We take the seed itself and then added the minerals, grow them in large labs, put it into soil and make a product. So we have biofortified wheat, biofortified rice, which is coming up. And we are still on a large scale experiment. This is being conducted in Bihar. The population is consuming them. We are waiting for the trials and the results to come out. One. Second, we are not saying that it does not disturb the practice, or I do not like to say the disturb the practice. I would like to say if it was not required, the government would never take the initiatives on this. Say, for example, we know that more than 50% of our population are anemic. How do you address them? They are anyway consuming all the foods which is available. If you ask me, I can go to the market and buy anything which I want to consume. I'm consuming them. Then why still iron deficiency is prevailing? Anyway, we were consuming, right?
Yes.
So my question is, how do you address this
Mhm.
in a large public scenario? How do you address this? So when we blend, we see to it that the uh, general nutrients which are present are taken care with minimal loss, and then we blend it with best proportions available.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time, ma'am. Thank you for all the patience you had to answer all of the
you.
questions.
Thank you.
I will also take a list of all the questions that are probably left out or missed or anything like that and send it over in a mail.
Sure,
And we will reply back to the participants as per
definitely.
your replies. And some of the people have asked for the emails. So participants have asked for the emails. I've
You
shared it
can
with
share.
them.
Yeah.
Trying to look at the relevance. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. And with this, I would like to also thank all of the people who have participated in today's webinar. And if you're working in the field of food fortification or spreading awareness about it, I thank you from the bottom of my heart as well. Um, uh, Ma'am, I would like you to join the breakout room link
Sure.
that you will see on your screen in about a minute.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
everybody. Yeah.
Thank you. Rakesh, could you please start the breakout room link, please?